So as you just saw, I just planned my entire month of August. This month, my biggest goal for the whole month is to have a fresh theme, because I'm going to use the bright yellow for the lemons and the not so light blue for the tiles, because these are tiles that they are just not defined here. But they are going to look like this, maybe with the lines a little bit thicker, kind of like this. And then the lemons, I'm going to cut them and just glue them on top, because I actually did them, like I drew them with the background, but they kind of blend together and I didn't like it didn't have any dimension in my opinion. And like this, you can easily see that the lemons are closer and the tiles are like far away, if that makes sense. So I've been testing with everything. I have all the pages done. That is my color palette. I put here all the colors that I'm going to use in the fine liners. And speaking of fine liners, the only fine liner that I have that it's dark blue, it's this one from Arteza. I actually haven't used these fine liners a lot, but this is the only fine liner that looks good, because I have this one that it's also from Arteza, but it's too, like, it's basically the same color as the title, and I don't want to use the same color. I want to have a darker blue. But on the spreads, I don't know if it's going to look great, but I think it is, because it's on the titles and the washi tapes that I'm going to use are kind of this color. So I hope everything goes well together. Now I'm just going to sketch all the lemons, because I'm going to film this tomorrow. And so I'm going to sketch all the lemons and paint them all, and then I can insert them on the video, and I'm not going to waste time tomorrow before filming the setup. Behind the scenes, this is very stressful because I never know what to do and what spreads to do, but when I sit down and I just think about it and I just sketch everything, it's much more clear to me, and so I don't stress anymore, and now I'm not stressed. So yeah, but before I did this, I was stressing out because I didn't have a clear idea what the spreads were going to look like, because I'm a very visual person, and so this helps me a lot, and this is going to be my setup for August. After nearly 2 hours of sketching, painting, outlining, and cutting my lemons, they are all cut. I actually don't think this is going to be enough for the whole setup. I don't know how many lemons are here, but I just cut them all, and I don't know if I'm going to have to make more tomorrow when I'm going to film my setup. But today in the afternoon, I'm going to sketch all the pages in my bullet journal, and I'm going to place them like they were stickers, like I did for July theme. And if they are not enough tomorrow, in the meantime that my watercolors are drying or the camera is like cooling down, I'm just going to make more lemons. But this is just one page, and to be honest, I don't think it's going to be enough for the whole theme. But yeah, this was a pain to do, but I still think it was worth it, because they are going to stand out a lot more than if they were just drawn on the actual bullet journal. So I'm pretty happy with them. guys, it's now a week later, I believe, since you saw me cutting all the lemons and stuff, and now my theme is finally done. It is now already up on my channel, as well as my real-time plan with me video and how I drew my lemons, so you can see the step-by-step how I made my lemons for my setup. I ended up cutting more lemons when I was filming my August setup. I was letting the watercolors dry on my notebook and I decided to cut more lemons, and now I keep them in this little container. This is actually the top part of my stamp letters, but I don't have like a good container to keep these lemons. But I plan to make the rest of the August spreads in a bit, so I don't need to keep them in here. But I ended up doing more lemons in the meantime. I did another page, I believe, because I need more lemons for the upcoming weeks. So if you already watched my setup, you know how the theme turned out. A lot of people like the fresh look of the pages. I really like the pages that I did. I'm not 100% proud. I think my July one turned out much better, but this one is just an experiment, and I love all the elements that I did. I love that it's very minimal with just the lemons and the blue, just giving like the pattern part of the theme. I think it's really interesting. It's very my style because it's really minimal and has a lot of white space on the pages, so it's not super cluttered or anything. My July setup, I believe it is a little bit cluttered, but I guess that aesthetic works better in my bullet journal. I like this one. I like to do minimal stuff, but I think my July one went much better. And now I'm just going to show you like how the prototype and how my idea initially was and how it turned out in my bullet journal. So as you remember, this is how the cover page was going to look like, and this is how it looked like. It's pretty much the same. The one line a day page is a little bit different. I ended up not doing the blue on the sides for the numbers. I think it was too much, so I didn't do that, but it's pretty much the same. For the calendar, I ended up not using this dark fine liner. I decided to use the tumbled brush pens actually for the fine liner part, and the fine liner I just used for the titles, but it turned out pretty well. And I actually didn't add the little lemons on the sides, but I think the calendar doesn't need that. For my habit tracker, it's pretty much the same thing. I just ended up not doing 5 habits because they would not fit, because this looks like more a square, and I ended up doing rectangles. But besides that, I don't need 5 habits, so I didn't do that. And for my sleep tracker, it's basically the same thing, but I ended up doing the rectangles on the other sides because tracker is bigger than sleep, and so I prefer to put the rectangle here instead of here. So that's basically what I did, but it pretty much looks the same. My expense tracker, yeah, it looks exactly how I planned, and my currently page as well. I just changed the colors because I ended up not doing these headers for these mini boxes like I did for my calendar. I just thought that it was too much, so I ended up just doing them like this, and it was much more minimal in my opinion, so that's what I did. And my weekly spread, I had the idea of doing this weekly spread or this one, but I prefer to do this one, and this is what I did. And again, I didn't do the little headers, but I prefer the weekly spread just like this one. So this is basically the before and after, and how my mind works, and then how I put the things together. So I hope you guys like this BUJO vlog. This is basically how I plan my themes in my bullet journal, the pages, the colors, everything. This is how I do. To summarize, I basically think about the 2 colors that come up on the 2-color challenge. I search them on Pinterest. I start seeing images and not bullet journal images, because if you notice, I didn't look at any bullet journal images. I just looked at pictures from Pinterest and photos and stuff. And once I have the idea for the doodles, I start sketching them and creating the doodles in my head and on paper, and then I think about the pages, and then the theme blooms. And that's basically how I do my themes. Last year I wasn't planning themes like this, and now this is the way that I'm doing, especially because I'm doing the 2-color challenge. It's much easier to think about the colors first and to think about the color combination that I'm going to do and the doodles, and then do the pages. So this is how I plan my themes. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you need any questions or opinions about planning a theme, leave them in the comments down below. I'm always checking your comments, so feel free to do that, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!